Ayan, good day everyone. So, this is supposed to be the last lesson for our midterms. So, itong lesson natin na to will be part of your exam sa midterms. So, sige, habol lang natin itong lesson na to. So, we will be talking about, this time, about political environment. So, for political environment, this is the lesson 4. When we say political systems, kasi when you plan to expand sa isang bansa, you need to know the form of government na meron sila. So, dito kasi basahin ko na lang in order to appraise the political environment of a country, the knowledge of the form of government of that country is essential. So, basically, the government can be classified into two categories, parliamentary and absolutist. Okay? Pag sinabi na kasi natin parliamentary, kinoconsult yung mga netizens. Parang democratic lang yan. Kinoconsult yung opinions and preference nila. So when we say naman absolutist, close sila. So ibig sabihin, it includes yung monarchy and yung dictatorship o yung dictatorya, ganon. Kasi ang government is ay gumagawa sila ng policies without consulting and considering citizens' opinion. So, ibig sabihin, magkaiba yung dalawa. Kaya ang sabi isa, parliamentary, ibig sabihin open. Yung absolutist naman is closed. Okay? So, bakit nga ba kailangan malaman yung form of government? Kasi nga, government ang nanguna at mga nakaupo. So, like sa absolutist, kapag naman sa parliamentary of course, para malaman natin yung preference ng citizens. Kaya kailangan natin consider yung political systems. Next naman, we have political risk. Sabi dyan, political risk include imposition of new controls such as trade restrictions, exchange limitations, or monetary controls, and war, revolution, or insurrection. Dito naman, minsan yung mga businesses ay nagsasuffer or napapahinto dahil sa political risk. Nag-i-stop siya. Kasi kapag yung mga businesses is nalulugi, nakaka-receive sila ng compensation benefits from the government kung saan nila tinayo yung business nila. Ganun kasi dati. Kaso nga lang, ngayon, nagkaroon na ng sovereign unity na sinasabi daw na ang government ay hindi na liable sa actions ng mismong business unless pagkasunduan nila na kapag nalugi sila, bibigyan pa sila ng government ng compensation. Ganun siya. Yun ang political risk. Okay? Ngayon, may natin tinatawag na confiscation. Sabi dyan, confiscation, the process of a government's taking ownership of a property without compensation. Sinasabi lang naman dyan na dito naman kukunin ng government yung property tapos hindi nila kayo babayaran. So it could happen, pwede siyang mangyari. Parang kapag may nakagalit ka na politician sa government, ganun. Pwede din naman na merong ginawang unethical na against dun sa government, kaya nagkakaroon ng confiscation. So, ang government ang magta-take over without compensation. Ganun siya. Okay? Next, we have expropriation. Dito naman, often, a company whose property is being expropriated agrees to sell its operations not by choice but rather because of some explicit or implied coercion. So dito naman tinathreaten ang isang business na ibenta ang business nila sa isang bansa kasi nga nagpo-prosper or kumikita sila. Syempre, parang ano yan nagkakaroon ng interest yung government. So ngayon yung iba tinathreaten yung business. Kasi nga syempre kumikita, malakas, ganyan. So ayun, tinathreaten na ibenta yung operations or mismong business nila. So mapipilitan sila na ibenta yung business nila, ganun. Yun lang sinasabi dyan sa expropriation. Next, we have nationalization. involves government ownership, and it is the government that operates the business being taken over. Dito naman, napupunta sa government ang pag-aari ng isang business, yung mismo kinuha ha. And then, halimbawa, example is yung NLEX. Before kasi, government yung may-ari niyan or government owned yan. Ngayon is meron na siyang or meron na nagmamay-ari, meron na nagmamay-ari nun or owned na siya by individual. Ganun yung nationalization. Okay? Next, we have domestication. Sa domestication naman, ang private ay ina-allow or allow i-operate ang confiscated or expropriated property. Yung nakuha na confiscate na or yung inexpropriate na property, ina-allow sila na gamitin or i-operate ng mga private companies yung mga na-confiscate. So, halimbawa, kasi yung process ng domestication eh. Ngayon, halimbawa, yung, di ba, ang corporation ay dapat nasa parang 60% na pagmamayari ng Filipino nationals. Tapos yung the rest is for the international owner na. Dito naman is isa to sa mga strategies ng government para at least hindi makuha ng iba yung business or resources na meron sila. Kaya, ang nangyayari, mas malaki pa rin ang part or percentage na hawak ng Pilipino kaysa sa ibang nationalities. Ganun siya. Next, ito naman yung mga indicators of political instability. Meron yan tayong tatlo. First, we have social unrest. It is caused by such underlying conditions as economic hardship, internal dissension and insurgency, and ideological, religious, and racial, and of course, cultural differences. So dito naman, ito is conflict domestically. Pero, kahit na hindi directly involved, ito kasi yung mga alam niyo yung mga nagda-rally, ang mga businesses ay apektado pa rin. Siyempre, masasabi natin ng social unrest, of course. Yun nga, pag may nag-rally, ang mga businesses apektado. Pwede kasing ipasara yung business mo or sirain yung business kasi nga may social unrest. So, it might affect you and you have to be prepared. Ganun siya. Okay? Next, we have attitudes of nationals. Dito naman, it is an assessment of the political climate is not complete without an investigation of the attitudes of the citizens and government of the host country. So the nationals' attitude toward foreign enterprises and citizens can be quite inhospitable. So dito naman, this is so true. Napaka-legit talaga nito. Kasi may mga bansa na makabansa talaga. Paano ko nasabi yun? Kasi minsan hindi welcome sa bansa yung mga foreign products. Baka kasi may colonialism, ganyan. Kaya minsan hindi tinatanggap ng ibang bansa yung mga foreign products. So halimbawa, galing ang business mo sa isang Muslim country or Muslim country, tapos dadalhin mo sa Christian country, of course, magkakaroon ng conflict kasi hindi na tatanggapin yun. Ganun lang siya. Attitudes of nationals. So next, we have the policies of the host government. Government policy formulation can affect business operations either internally or externally. The effect is internal when the policy regulates the firm's operations within the host country. So the effect is external when the policy regulates the firm's activities in another country. So policies of the host government, sinasabi lang dyan, pag nag-iiba-iba ang president, may iba din ang relationship. It could be better or worse. Ganun lang siya. Okay? And then, ayan na yung ito na yung mga pag-aral natin sa IBT. International Business and Trade. Ayan. So, we have the social culture. Tapos na natin yan. We have technological, economic, and ito nga last topic natin is political. Okay? Nung una, 6 lang sila na bansa. Tapos sumali yung iba. Meron na silang standardized union para sa lahat eh. Founder after World War II. Tapos, paano sila nakabangon ganyan. So, ito yung mga kinonsider nila mga factors for international business environment. Okay? So, yun lang naman guys. Sobrang ikli lang talaga nito. Ayan, mga 10 minutes lang to. And we will have a quiz. And then, again, this is part of your midterm exam. So, yun lang class. Happy holidays and thank you for your time. Goodbye.